Mm, mm. I was about to break out in the dance real quick, but I'm not gonna do it. Y'all not ready for that. Anyway, J. Cole is quitting features. The closest thing that you're gonna get to a podcast without me actually calling it a podcast. And yeah, first thing on the docket on the list that I wanted to quickly discuss was the J. Cole quitting features. Now, while I do like Cole, and while I do think he is a pretty good lyricist, and I do think he's a pretty good rapper, I just don't know why I'm supposed to care that he's no longer doing features. You gotta remember, J. Cole is an artist who is known for, within the last 2 years, I would say, his run with killing the feature game pretty much started around, I wanna say, early 2017, maybe a little earlier than that. And he was dominating, you know? And the first early signs of this was on his track Black Friday, the one he did with Kendrick, where he did a rendition of All Right, and Kendrick did a rendition of, I think it was A Tale of Two Cities. And I loved both of them. Those were both pretty good. I actually preferred J. Cole's because of how much better it sounded as a song, whereas Kendrick showcased more of the lyrical aspect. I think Cole really worked well in a mainstream sense, and he sounded really great. But as we move into J. Cole in the feature game beyond that point, he did really well on tracks like American Dream with Kendrick off Jeezy's project in 2017. I believe that's what it was called. Don't quote me. Royce the 5 Nines, Bob Boat. We got his feature on Kaz's album Zendaya. We got another feature with A Lot from 21 Savage. I mean, recently I've just been really liking what J. Cole has been doing with the feature game. That being said, all those features being nice additions to his docket, to his skill set, I don't really think it's something that I need to complain or be upset about if he says he's no longer doing them. I wish that all those verses that we got from J. Cole we could have found on his own albums, on his own projects. I would love that. If you're not gonna give everybody else your verses, then save them for your own music. But the fact that I can quote more lines from you off other people's songs versus the songs that you make yourself and put on your own albums, to me is a problem. I want to be able to quote J. Cole and people not be like, you're corny. I want to be able to quote J. Cole and people not say, oh, that's so and so song. I mean, J. Cole really proved himself on the London even. I mean, to be able to go into a track with Young Thug and Travis Scott and still showcase the skill and ability that you have proves that you have skill. You have a solid value in rap. And I also think people are overlooking the idea that when J. Cole is doing these features, he's generally over production that's a lot more modern and accessible and more interesting than the music that he typically makes in his own songs. Like, I'm not hating on J. Cole, but as a producer, a lot of the time, dude can be pretty sleepy. Even lyrically, I think he could be pretty sleepy a lot of the time, but that's another conversation. I just think that, J. Cole probably looks so much better on other people's songs because they are seeing him in different settings, whereas the setting that he puts himself in his own music is typically pretty boring. So if he's done doing features, I'm cool with that. There's really no issue with that. I just want, or I would prefer, or I would like if J. Cole could just bring a little bit more to his own stuff. That's what I would like. And I think this lack of features, this lack of contribution to the rap game, I think it might end up bettering his music. So that's how I'm feeling on that. I think it could be a really good thing. I don't think people need to be upset or sad about it. Next on the docket, Tekashi 6ix9ine. Who else did he snitch on? Did he snitch on you? Did he snitch on her? Did he snitch on the dog? Did he snitch on me? He better not have, because I have legs. Stop. Every other video, you don't have legs. I'm clever. I'll just say he doesn't have legs. Wheelchair C. Shut the fuck. Tekashi, after snitching on his non-profit organization, Nine Tray, is found himself on the stand, going crazy, throwing names in like Jim Jones, who, in my opinion, I'm just like, what reason is Jim Jones even here? And apparently Jim Jones, they have audio of him ordering the original kidnapping, so to speak, maybe not, or being involved to some degree with Tekashi getting kidnapped. I'm just like, bro, you are a legend. Jim Jones specifically, you are a legend. And I get we're all talking about 6ix9ine, but Jim Jones, you are a legend. Why on earth are you even involved in something like this? Go sit down. Start a retirement fund. You came out with a great album this year. Just slowly fade away. Be like Kobe. Like, I don't know why rappers have to just keep getting into nonsense. Just make the money and leave. It's a very 1-2 punch. 1-2 punch. That's it. You don't see NBA players, well, Lamar Odom aside, you don't see NBA players screwing up their entire career just for a little moment. Okay, aside from Lamar Odom and Ray Rice and Antonio Brown, which I'm not fully convinced, you finally get the platform, you finally maintain the exposure. Why can't you just stay out of trouble? Jim Jones is a legend. You could have been balling your whole life. You like, what are you doing? But back to 6ix9ine. This dude threw Jim Jones' name in there. He, as opposed to saying I don't know when they were addressing Cardi B, which is a foul move. I mean, the prosecution really just trying to get. They're so desperate and they have so little evidence and so little to go off on. They're willing to throw anyone's name who they think is in any way involved, trying to tear down the entire industry. But as the prosecution, I mean, if you can get them, then go ahead and get them. Whatever, do your thing. I'm not hating. But I don't know why 6ix9ine didn't just say, I don't know. Why couldn't you just say, I don't know? I don't know if she was involved. I don't know if she was this or that. Like, why didn't you just say, I don't know? Whatever. Cool, whatever. Giving up everybody's name, okay? This is my issue with the people that are still defending Tekashi, and then I'll leave this part alone. People are defending him as if he was a citizen who just got caught up in the system, a citizen who just was minding his own business, or a rapper who was just doing his own thing and got caught up in a gang. That's not what it was. He paid 9 Trey for protection. He wanted to market a gangster exterior, a gangster image to push his rap career to a bunch of white teenagers in the suburbs who have no idea what he's talking about at all, so people can't actually verify any of the things that he's saying. So when he starts trolling and saying all this other nonsense, those same kids think he's cool and funny for telling other grown men and rappers to suck his schmeat. You have to remember that Tekashi is not a law-abiding citizen. He is not a citizen that is without fault. He is not a citizen who has not committed a crime. That's what people need to understand. He put himself in this position trying to market himself as a gangster, number one. Number two, he ordered a hit out on Chief Keef for 20 grand. Stop telling me to have sympathy for this dude. I don't. Ordered a hit out on another rapper from a city that he's never been to, that when he did visit, he royally disrespected in the middle of the night, trying to act like he's hard and gangster, showing up while everybody's already asleep. Orders a hit out on their hometown's rapper. Doesn't succeed. When he gets in court, snitches on the shooter that he hired. He's had people jumped. Like, this dude isn't an innocent bystander. Stop treating him like he's just some, oh, I'm just a guy who just got caught up in the system. I didn't do nothing. So when all these people keep saying, oh, I'd flip in a second. Well, you're just as big of a bitch as Tekashi was. You deserve whatever fate he's ultimately gonna have, because number one, you shouldn't have initiated yourself into that situation in the first place for rap clout, and you should never be putting hits out on people, especially doing things that you just wouldn't do yourself. You're trash. You garbage. You snitch in that position after you put yourself in that position to that extent, you're garbage. As a law-abiding citizen, I agree with you. There's nothing wrong with snitching. It's not even called snitching if you're a law-abiding citizen. You're just cooperating with the police. It's not your responsibility to abide by street code if you're not a street person. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you put yourself in that position, you deserve exactly what's coming to you, which is exactly what he did. Stop trying to give me hypotheticals as if I would pay to have rappers protect me while I present a fake gangster image to online teenagers, because I wouldn't. So no, I wouldn't be in Tekashi's position in the first place. Don't give me hypotheticals. Whatever's coming his way, he asked for it. And last but not least on the docket, we've got, I don't know why, this is terrible. We've got H&M. They're back in the news. They're back in the headlines for doing something again that challenges the racial status quo. And I'm actually not upset about this one. I'm not. The last one that they did, the coolest monkey in the jungle with the black kid and the green sweater, I was a little iffy on, because I'm just like, this is just terrible marketing. How did you not see that people would have an issue with this? But this one, on the other hand, I get what they're trying to do, but they should have known it wouldn't work. It's tough when you're trying to include people. You have this responsibility of inclusion when it comes to groups and people in general that you feel are poorly represented in popular communities and in mainstream, communities, mainstream push, I guess you could say. But black people, as usual, still have to make things trend that weren't supposed to. The images of this little girl, beautiful little black girl too, by the way. I'm not saying that because she's black. I'm saying that because it's true. And I'm going to use the image that should have been trending as opposed to the one that black people made trend because they were upset with the way this girl's hair looked. Now, annoying enough to me, people on the internet who have access to literally all the information in the entire world still refuse to use it for getting access to all the information in the entire world. Rather than go and look up the other images that were a part of this marketing scheme or tactic or whatever H&M was trying to do, rather than look up the rest of the images that were included in this and find that H&M also had girls of other ethnicities, other racial backgrounds that had really messy, really pillow, really low effort, non-effort hairstyles to push the image that they have this carefree demeanor for these young girls so that they don't have to put the responsibility on themselves to be these dolls for the world or anything, an unrealistic pressure. That's fine. Let kids be kids. They'd rather go on Twitter and on Instagram regurgitating the exact same image, trying to call H&M somehow devils or something like that. Like, I get it. I'm not saying that H&M has the best intentions when doing something like this. They have this girl, when it comes to this image, they have her in an afro hairstyle. They have her in a bun-up hairstyle and a bun-back hairstyle. I get that. They're trying to show some versatility in the hairstyles. I understand. The ponytail one was just pretty low effort to me. I think what people need to understand is you can't do the exact same thing with all hair textures, okay? I don't even think it was because of this girl's hair texture that they weren't able to form the quote-unquote right ponytail, but just because there wasn't enough hair. Typically, with a hairstyle like that, you wouldn't even style it that way. You wouldn't even walk out the house like that. Not to say there's anything wrong with her walking out the house with the ponytail hairstyle, but it's not the, you know, in my opinion, it's not the best option that she has. It'd be like me. You know, I have a pretty thick head of hair, but it's also pretty curly and it's also pretty coily. Like, for me to brush my hair back and try to make a man bun with it being this height wouldn't make much sense, okay? I need to grow it a little bit longer, or I need to comb it first, and then I need to wash it, and then I need to brush it, and then I might be able to make some type of bun. But again, remember, the aesthetic here is for a low effort, carefree little girl. That's it. Just a kid being a kid. Of course, black folks made the one that they didn't agree with trend as opposed to the one where this kid looks absolutely gorgeous. No R. Kelly. Black people are the ones, black women more specifically, are in the comments talking about they could have at least done her hair. They could have styled it. They could have brushed it. They could have wetted it. They could have moisturized it. That's the point. They're leaving the house low effort, doing nothing pretty much to themselves, just looking and being like a kid. Conversation that you want to have about black people and the way they're represented, and hair textures more specifically, black women more specifically, in the media, in the mainstream, that's a totally separate conversation from what the intention, I feel, of this marketing campaign was. Actually, I can't speak to the intention of their campaign, but what I can say, what it's doing for me, what it's showing me, especially with the inclusivity of everybody else aside from this black girl, is that they were trying to go for a low effort, carefree aesthetic with all these kids. That's what I feel they were trying to do. Black people for the longest time have been wanting to be represented equally amongst the media and the world without having to put in the same amount of effort or the same amount of care as people who don't put that same amount of effort in. I know that in America, and for a long time when it comes to the way people are marketed in the mainstream, white women and mixed women predominantly get to wear these really messy hairstyles, and the intention is for them to look like they got out of bed or that they have this bedhead look, and it's been marketed to people as if it's supposed to be like this really attractive hairstyle. And black women for a long time haven't been able to have that same luxury because of the way that black hair for a long time was marketed in America, the way it was marketed in the mainstream. So they feel as if they have to do a lot more, keep up a lot more effort, do a lot more maintenance to keep the same level of preference, in my opinion. However, when you have an ad that addresses literally that, and you have a kid that doesn't have anything, you know, I'm sure they'd have been mad or upset if this kid had weave, if this kid had a perm, if this kid had gel, if her hair was laid down. It would have been a problem. So in this, accept what's going on here and accept that it's bigger than just this little black girl. It's the entire scheme is really more of a young woman type thing, a young girl type of thing, just a kid thing. You shouldn't have to worry about anything being a child. That was the point of the campaign, in my opinion. And I do think that they hit the mark. Do I like it coming from H&M? Not really. Not really. Not really. But I'm not going to hate on them because they're H&M and because it's a cool thing to do. When I see the intention, I see the point. So y'all let me know how you feel about all these things in the comment section down below. It's been the Wrap It Up series. Thank you for watching. Thank you for allowing me to kill some time. And I'll see y'all next time. And I'm out. Bye. Leave me alone now, all right?